Hypno music.
Yeah, gotta let it go. Knees on the ground and I let it go. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Yeah, gotta let it go. Hands on my knees and I let it flow. Living my life. Yeah, I'm loving my life. Shake it down to my left. Shake it down to my right. Reach towards the sky and wind and round and feel fine. Shake it down to my right. Shake it down to my left. Cause I'm feeling blessed. Feeling at my best. So yeah. Cause I'm feeling blessed. So yeah. Cause I'm feeling blessed. Man, I'm so grateful. Wake up in the morning, rise and thankful. Hey, I'm loving my life. Yes, I'm loving my life. Hey, that's right, my damn soul. Living in the past, they don't let it go. Living my life, standing the test of time. Shake it down to my left. Shake it down to my right. Reach towards the sky and wind and round and feel fine. Shake it down to my right. Shake it down to my left. Cause I'm feeling blessed. Feeling at my best. So
All right. Peace and light, power family. Welcome to another episode of Blue Knowledge Radio, place for knowledge born. This is your host, Knowledge Born a Lot. And I know that y'all be here with me all the time. And I'm like, we got a special guest in the building. But I had no idea in my mind that we would have God's homegirl come show up for us today. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a special occasion in my mind. I'm telling you, because God loved me so much. She'd be like, "Boy, don't worry about it. I got you." Okay, I'll be like, "Ma." She'd be like, "Just chill. I got you." Okay, so she sent me her spiritual coach, Go Whisperer, the one who sits on your spirit space shoulder and helps to guide you back to yourself. helps you through those treacherous waters of doubt and despair and the pain and hell associated with it, for you to rise, for you to ascend in the space of loving accountability with her pen, with her words, with her candor, with her humor, with her light, with her love. So we are honored to have the truth in the building. In the divine name of La Ammitai. Welcome to the platform.
Oh my gosh. Gracious gratitude for that amazing introduction. I'm so happy to be here on the Do the Knowledge Radio podcast. And I'm excited to get started, excited to dive into today's topic. We will be diving into the kickstart to your inner healing journey. And so thank you so much for having me.
Definitely a blessing and an honor, and you came highly recommended. So highly recommended. You do so many things. I wanted to say thank you. Okay, I wanted to say thank you sincerely for your spirit of service and your ability to be able to see a void and find a way to facilitate it being filled. So I just wanted to say thank you for so many of your offerings. There's so many of the list, like reading about you. It's like, wait a minute. Like, wait a minute. Like, wait a minute. You see what I'm saying? I know in the Bible it says I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Like, I can do all things through you that strengthens me, because look.
Well, listen, you know what? You know what I tell people? They're like, what do you do? Baby, I'm a lot of dashes and backslashes, right? And I own all of them. We getting ready, so you see that my energy's coming out, right? We get ready to shine through here. So when people come to me and like, you know, I'm searching for my purpose, you know, searching for just my what am I here for? Why? You know, and we get it misconstrued when we say, you know, we're created to do one specific thing, that one purpose. And that's why I say, listen, I'm a lot of dashes and backslashes. I am multidimensional, multifaceted. You are too. Use all your gifts. Do not stay in your lane. We are going to heal that language. I want you to drive in every lane that you got passion in. And I want you to leave tire marks, trailblazing in each and every one of them. I'm a lot of dashes and backslashes, and everybody is too. And I want people to embrace that multifaceted, creative being that they are. That's what life is about. You don't have just one gift, one skill, right? You don't have one purpose. If you had one purpose, what would be the point of having multiple cycles, multiple seasons in your life? Every cycle and every season that you have, there are blessings and there are lessons within those. And with those you need specific gifts and skills to be able to get through, to get to, and to overcome, right? So every season has a different purpose. So what your purpose was last season might look a little different than what your purpose is this season. And that's how we continue to grow, to continue to, if we keep that open mindset of remaining a student to life, and that self-discovery modality in our mentality, then we'll always be green and growing.
So what was your catalyst? What was your kickstart to your inner healing journey? And then how did that grow and green and blossom to want to be of service to help others?
You didn't tell me we was getting deep in here. Yeah, I thought we was gonna surface level. You ain't tell me we was getting ready to get deep in here now.
Hey,
let's take a sip of coffee, you know.
Take what you need, okay? we do the knowledge over here. That's an
yes, sir.
Investigative, introspective journey.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't look like what I've been through. Let me start there. And a lot of us don't look like what we've been through. Us overcomers, the resiliency of our people, we don't look like what we've been through. And my kickstart to my inner healing journey started when I came into awareness of my connection reflections. We can agree that energy is everything and everything is energy, right? So that means that everything is vibrating, and it's vibrating at a certain frequency, and at the core of that frequency, then there is a number. So it's numerology for me. It's the numbers for me, right? I'm in my dashes and backslashes. I'm a master numerologist. Numerology wasn't something that I went to school for, or you just, decided, you know what, I want to learn numerology. I literally stumbled across it just in my connection reflection. I have 2 children who are autistic. My oldest would have tantrums from sun up to sundown, and I'm not kidding you, every 5 minutes, like clockwork, between the ages of 3 and 5. Couldn't figure out what was going on with him because he was nonverbal. Even though he had the audible disability, he was always drawn to numbers. He would take things from around the house, my kitchen utensils, forks and knives and spoons, and in the middle of my living room floor would create number pattern 1 through 9. And he would also take these Lego blocks, these jumbo Duplo Legos, and put them in a certain color pattern. He would only use red, blue, green. And he knew, how the Legos, they have different prongs, the 2-prong, 3-prong, 4-prong. He would take, and I would clean it up every single day, photographic memory. He would dig them all out the box, remember, he's age 5 now. He would remember in what pattern he put them in. And then next to it, there's magnetic numbers and letters you stick on the refrigerator. He would take the numbers off and put the sequence 2, 3, 4, 9, 4, 2. This was the first level of awareness for me, because I was at this moment when he was doing these Lego patterns. And if you know anything about autistic children, depending on where they are in the spectrum, but commonly they're routine based, right? They like structure and order. And so every single day for about 30 days, this pattern was on my floor. And this came at a time where I was going through yet another breakup. I had already been through 2 failed marriages that ended in abuse. I had already lost a child in 2009 to SIDS, buried that child twice because the cemetery lost his records and could not pinpoint exactly where they buried him. Sent me to the psych ward of the hospital when I found this information out. And this, I'm sorry, I should have given a trigger warning there. But I'm going through all of this. I'm in this rat race of life, of working from sun up to sundown to provide for me and my children because I'm a single mother. And at this moment, I'm just sitting in my recliner and I'm looking at this color pattern on my floor, and I'm looking at this 2, 3, 4, 9, 4, 2 that I've been staring at every single day, right? And so I said, you know what? I'm so sick of life. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of just running around in circles, chasing after outcomes that really elude me. And I'm just drawn to this color pattern and this number. And I said, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, let me just Google this. And I Googled 234-942, and guess what, Knowledge? It was the scientific color code for, guess what colors?
What
red, blue, green. And he's 5. First level of awareness. And now I'm my perspective shifts of him. Because as parents, a lot of times we only adopt the role of being the teacher. We only adopt the role of being the disciplinarian. We want to check all these boxes for our children, or teach them to check all these boxes to be considered normal or up to standard or above average, or, whatever aspirations and dreams that we have for them, instead of allowing them to just be, and to adopt the role of the apprentice, the student, and allow them to teach. Allow them to teach. That's why I say I'll forever be a student to life. And when I say life, I mean life and everything in it and of it and around me. I came to the awareness that my spiritual teacher might be 9 months old. My spiritual teacher might be 99 years old. I have to always be in a state of submission and allow things to just be around me, and then implement along the way what I need to do on my journey. It took me back into reflection from then their knowledge of my son that passed away. And he was born on, get it, 7, 8, 9. I'm a life path 7. So in my reflection, now that I'm digging into numerology and finding out the deeper meanings of life through numbers, took me back to his birthday, 7, 8, 9, and his transition from this earthly realm. 7 is my life path number. For those of you who don't know what a life path number is in numerology, life path is the path that the soul was contracted to take here on this earthly realm. You're going to utilize your God-given talents, gifts, and skills along this path in order to have a rewarding existence, right? On towards your life purpose. Now, 7, my life path number was, this message to me was, always speak your truth. Always seek the truth. Always explore, remain an explorer. 7 is a number of exploration. 7 is a number to deeper meanings to life. 7 is a number that connects the spiritual realm to the physical realm, right? That is who I am as a life path 7. And so it's saying to me, it's time for you to get to know your energy, own your energy, and stand in your power. Then the 8 comes to affirm that and says, okay, because 8 is authority, abundance, power. 8, it says everything that you need is right here. I'm going to give you all of your gifts and your skills, and so that you can utilize them on your journey. And when you do, when you step into your power, you'll be abundance, because abundance is your birthright. But it's going to come at the 9. It's going to come at the 9 knowledge. It's going to come at a sacrifice. Sacrifice represents the end of a cycle, right? The 9 represents the end of a cycle. Brings it back around full circle. 9 is enlightenment, inspiration, awareness, right? The 9 ties the knot, and also says, let go of the outcome. Let go of your need to be in control, right? And I'll bring it back around full circle for you. So the sacrifice then, there was my son, 7, 8, 9. And that was my second level of awareness. It was in sequential order. It was my first, but I missed it because I wasn't, my perspective, I couldn't see. But then when I saw my son and his niche with the numbers, it drew me back in reflection, and then became my second cycle of awareness. That is when I began my inner healing journey. I know, very long explanation, but very complex and much needed for me to give that much detail into it. But it was because of my connection reflections, and it taught me how to be a reflective being. So I know that just like my children, this connection with you and I, it's either a direct reflection of who I am, what I got going on in my current life cycle, or there's something within this session that we're having that's going to bring out of me something that I've been repressing that I may need to bring to the forefront. Those are the 2 type of connections that we have with people, right? You're my mirror reflection. I'm your mirror reflection. And if we can learn how to be reflective beings, we can constantly keep ourselves in a modality of healing and growth, rather than taking things personal and being objective and overly emotional. I mean, we're human, right? You're going to allow yourself to feel. But I'm telling you, if you look at things from on an energetic level, that is how you start to kickstart your inner healing journey. And it's just up and stuck from there.
I know they got buttons and stuff they push now for applause, but I still clap for
It's the horn. The pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, I still clap for people. I still clap. Some places they still snap. I still do that. I got to make a joyful noise unto the Lord. You see what I'm saying? She can't hear me pushing no button. She's like, what is that? Like, what are you doing that for? Like, what happened to your mouth? What happened to your hands? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm giving the Lord a hand clap of praise. I wanted to share with you that it's your time. It's your time. So I know that we go in modalities with spaces and we speak to people and we communicate with them. So we're always careful about considering our audience.
Mm-hmm.
We can throw that away too. We can throw that away. So in our pursuit to be careful with our audience, we could lose them. If you are sharing your journey, your soul's journey is there to tell the truth. So that truth unlock something in the audience, whether they acknowledge it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stifle it. Don't apologize for it. Take as long as a time that is needed to convey the message that you have, because your message is so vital and it's so transformative. And the transparency in that sacred space and vulnerability in that sacred space will allow people to be vulnerable with you, because they're looking at the developed product. They're looking at it. They're like, I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so it's another indictment that comes along with it that further drives a wedge between them and self.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there. I don't like. She looks amazing. She did all of this stuff. Like, no, like that's like there's a process for that.
Come on
So
with the
in order
process.
to get them to commit to the process or consider the process, we got to meet them there. So you're meeting them there because you do that work. You see what I'm saying? So that the more layers that you share of those stories, when they're applicable for them people, take your time with it. They love it. They receive it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be real for them. You know, I lost children myself. You know, so that message was a reminder for me, like that 7, 8, 9. I'm walking with
That's
you.
the connection, reflection that I'm saying. I know, we know that there's
7,
a
8, 9.
connection.
Like, yes, yeah, I'm walking with it. Like, man, like, whoo, okay. So I'm like, oh man, like, so you know, I lost children. I lost my mother. I lost my father. So I'm like, understanding what I gained on the other side, you know, spiritually, is still like it comes with that 9, with that sacrifice that you're talking about. So when you're connecting with people, connect with them. You trust it. It's coming out for a reason. You don't waste no words and you don't waste no time.
That's right.
That's a guarantee.
That's
You don't
right.
waste no words and you don't waste no time. So yeah, no, stay in that space. So now, how did this journey from you become the space where you begin now to walk with others down that path?
Absolutely. So it started out as just me and my solitude and just digging deep and really studying. And if I had to label myself, I would consider myself an omnius, right? If that's relatable to anyone else. So I'm a knowledge seeker, you know, so that means that I have to study from all walks of life, not just one way of living, not just one way of thinking. You know, I'm open to all types of philosophies and spirituality, and you know, I take from it what resonates with my spirit, and I hit the ground running. Then I started implementing numerology heavy in my teachings. I began to teach. 7 is a number of a teacher, right? First, we have to seek. First, we have to discover, gain the knowledge, and then you are called into the role to teach and heal through what you discovered. And you continue discovering, and you continue to teach. It's a cycle. You keep going. You're never finished. My inner healing journey, and that's why my book says a kickstart to your inner healing journey, because the journey is never complete. And I don't promise people, oh, you have a one-on-one session with me, or you read my book and you're going to be completely whole and healed. That is bullcrap. I don't sell no fluff. I don't. I'm still learning and growing, and I want to take other people along on their healing and growth journey. And it's going to be a forever journey. And if you can commit to forever, if you can, which is, it's work. It's work, knowledge. If you're ready to work, and I only deal with action-prone individuals. If you about that action, I'm your girl. It started off for me with one-on-one consultations where I was doing numerology soul blueprints. And the numerology soul blueprints unlocks what the soul was contracted here to do on this earthly realm, as well as your inner gifts, the God-given gifts, talents, and skills you have, what your destiny is, the things that you have to accomplish on the path, right? The path is one thing, but you have set obstacles, or I won't say obstacles, but set challenges that you have to overcome, set things that you have to unlock on this road to your destiny, to your purpose, right? Then there's your soul number. Your soul is your heart's desire. Everything you do should come from the heart space, not from a mind space, not from a feeling space, but the heart space, because the heart is the bridge between the physical and spiritual realm, just like the 7 is, right? So it's everything that you do from your heart, so what your heart desires. And then the persona, your persona number, that's who your ego is, right? Death to the ego. First and foremost, death to the ego. Understanding, knowing, identifying, coming into awareness who that ego person is, so that you can have complete control over it. Those are some of the things that I break down in the numerology soul blueprint. We go through some of your life pinnacles and cycles, the challenges that you'll go through, some of the experiences that you may have along on your life journey. It then bridged into doing numerology business blueprints. This is where it started to level up, because once I was able to master human numerology just on a human level, person to person, seeing people in numbers and recognizing the numbers within their energetic field, I was then able to open my perspective to, like we said in the beginning, energy is everything and everything is energy. And I now see things at the core. So everything has a frequency and everything has a number. When I look at a house, the address, it has a number. That's the feng shui of that home. Not the trinkets that you have in it all dressed up. No, that thing already has an energetic field, right? So and as well as businesses, what you name your business, because letters have numeric value too. What you name your business, the date and the time that you start your business. And so energy, or the numeric energy of a business and its flow, I tapped into that. Actually, the interview that you did with Nelena Kai is my literary agent. For those of you who have not watched Do the Knowledge Radio with Nelena Kai, please check that out. That broadcasted, was that last week, Knowledge?
Last week, yes.
Yeah, make sure you check that out. Awesome woman. And maybe we'll tap into her and how I started my literary journey. But I did a business blueprint for her. Completely changed her. Well, I won't say completely changed her business name, but we did some slight tweaking. In the moment that we did that, because the energy that she had put into place didn't match that which she desired for the business, and she found herself in this stagnant state of being within the business. And as soon as we shifted the energy and put a more intentional numeric flow into it to align, there has to be this vibrational match between, with the law of attraction, between that which you desire and that which you are harnessing. If you are not, everything that you are is what you attract. So if you don't have the proper business name, the proper energy flowing in your business, and it doesn't match what you are desiring, it's just not going to flow. It's not going to flow at all. So we changed their business name slightly, and boom, took all the way off. And opening up to book deals, more book deals. She was already getting book deals, but kind of came to a halt. Getting more book deals, getting more presence on the macro group literary agency, and it's just been up and stuck from there. I'm now shifting to a space to where I am working on online courses to help people kickstart their inner healing journey. 30 Days of Me will become a whole brand. It'll be a whole brand. There'll be me retreats. There will be online courses. There's so much to do. There will be a card game, 30 Days of Me card game. Let's just face it. In this generation, our young folks don't like to read. They don't like physical copies of books anymore. They like Audible. Some of them like Audible, but they like playing games too. So I want to turn it into a game. Maybe a board game, maybe a card game, maybe both. So there's so much that I'm doing now to reach more people and just being more creative in my approach so that I can keep up with the times here in this generation of folks who don't really like to read.
I'm going to tell you a secret. If you make a card game and a board game. There's some instructions. Guess what people have to do with that? They gotta read them.
They have to read them.
They gotta read them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to read them. So my sons read. They read because they saw me reading. They see books all around me, and they become attractive. Like that kind of thing becomes attractive. I don't tell them what to read. I'm thankful that they're reading because I learned from one of my babas. He had this bookstore in Fort Hood, Texas. And I used to go to this bookstore all of the time and get all of my books, for my niche in my mind, right? And they were having a book club. And I went back there and I looked at the book club and I was like, what are they reading? I went to Baba. I was like, Baba, what are they reading in here? All this other stuff in here. What are they reading? He said, son, they're reading. He said, they're reading. He said what you said, folks are not reading. He said, they're reading. Give credence to that. Respect that. They're reading. They're reading. If you want them to read something, find something for them to read because they're reading, and they'll read it because you suggested it to them. So they were reading fiction, and I was listening to the fiction. I was like, oh, okay. I have to find something that stands in the gap between fiction and reality, okay? So if we're fantasizing about something we want to have happen, what's one story that can do that? So I went and got the spook who sat by the door, and I said we should read this because I read their books. Let's read this book. They was like, yo, this book, I read it in a day. I couldn't put it down. Like, oh man. I was like, now you can see the movie. Oh, it was a movie to this too? Oh yeah. All right. So people are reading. They're reading what people are posting. They're reading everybody's statuses. They're reading all of the comments. They're reading. But they're reading based off of what they're interested in. If this is their life, if this virtual space becomes their life, this is their life. So that way to bridge that gap is to present something that's undeniable. Like, oh snap, this came from a book. What's the book? They did that with Star Wars. They did that with Misery. They did that with all of that stuff. But most of the people who read those books, they saw the movie, was like, eh. But the reverse is true. You could also put that out there to where it becomes so attractive and undeniable that people go back and read the book. Like, oh, this is a book. This came from a book. Okay, let's check out the book. Can't be that bad. The game is great. You see what I'm saying? So all of these things are piquing interest. They speak in a way to wherever they are. They have to read something. One of my friends, grandchild, was like, oh, I can't get him to read, but he loves math. Like, tell him that's reading also. You have to read the numbers in order to do the math. He just wants to do the math. Okay, that's beautiful. So tell him what else he's doing along with that. Read me that number. How many letters are in that sign? Just these kinds of things now become a thing where you're creating situations around the thing that looks like or appears as a weakness to so it's a strength. It becomes a strength unbeknownst to them. So I just wanted to add that real quick.
Absolutely. You're so right. You're so right about it. So I appreciate that little nugget you just dropped on me.
I got it from you. I heard you. I heard you, and I heard my mama and you, saying it at the same time because my mother created a safe space with us between our connection was books, our connection was information. She was a thorough researcher, an avid reader, and her legacy and connection with me was through books. You see what I'm saying? So the mind that I have based on my soul contract at that particular time that we agreed in the unseen, that she would be my mother and my father would be my father, and these are the things that I would do. She didn't forget that. She didn't forget that. And neither did my father. So my incarnation came at that particular time, in this particular season, for that particular reason. So it was things that I shrugged off and I said I didn't want to do. And everything I said I would never do is all of the things that I did. So it was just interesting. So yeah, our connection was with books. My mother knew that the earth was safe as long as I was somewhere with a book in my hand. If I didn't have a book in my hand, the earth was in trouble. The universe was in trouble.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
So now you are helping people. Well, let's go to 30 Days of Me. Let's talk about the 30 Days of Me journey process. You know, the book, like what's the story behind the story, and then how we shifting into where we are currently with this 30-day challenge we got.
Absolutely. Okay, so 30 Days of Me, 2019, November. Started in October. This is right at the brink of the pandemic. And I found myself going through, another spiral. I found myself kind of getting into this dimmer place in my life. I was struggling mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It was chaos in my external environment, as well as in my internal environment. And at this point in my healing journey, I'm learning to be a reflective being, learning my natural cycles, right? There's a go season, right? And then there's a rest and reflection season. And I want to make that known, because I think that a lot of times that as human beings forget to be, right? We become human doers, and we always think that there has to be a physical action in the place in order for us to be productive or consider ourselves productive. But we forget the season of rest, and rest allows that silence, that solitude needed for preparation, right? How can you hear or see what's going on, see which way to go, have clarity about that direction if you ain't sitting still, if you constantly running, right? Then you find yourself running in circles. And then the ultimate, notorious question of, why does this keep happening to me? Plays in our minds. Well, it keeps happening because you ain't learned. You ain't stopped the cycle. You get to start to pause the cycle. You got to sit down and say, okay, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Which way do I go? Right? So I was in that state of being October of 2019, and I said, my inner me said, it's time to stop. It's time to take a break. We gotta chill. We gotta get off social media. I'm an empath, so I'm heavily affected by what the world was currently going through at the time, coupled with what I was already going through internally. I found myself just way too overwhelmed. It's funny how the universe deals with me in times like this, because what I consider solitude is never really solitude. It's never really just me, because I understand my life path as a teacher. I can filter my solitude and still pair it with other people and take them along the journey with me. So Spirit said, okay, yes, you need solitude. Yes, you need to sit down, but I don't need you. You can't have complete solitude. I need you to take some people with you. Just throw a post out there on Facebook, take the entire month of November off, cancel social media, really just tap into you. But other women need this too. So I want you to take just a few of them with you. So I said, okay. I drafted up something really quickly on my editor app, and made a graphic and just titled it 30 Days. It looks nothing like the 30 Days of Me color scheme and that I have going on now, but drafted up something really quick and said, okay, call to action. Who wants to go on this 30-day sabbatical with me? We're going on this little hiatus. We're canceling social media. We're really tapping in. Who needs a cleanse? Who needs the reset button? And I had 11 women who answered the call. And we committed to getting on Zoom every single day at 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, it was a doozy for those that were on the West Coast because that's 5:45 a.m., right? Now, the East Coast, y'all, they were coasting at the 8:45 mark, 9 o'clock, so they were all right. But 7:45, I clockwork and recorded every single Zoom meeting. The first session started off with us just introducing ourselves, making the commitment verbally, as well as talking about why we were there, releasing all things that no longer served us. We kind of did a ceremony, so to speak. Everybody started with I release. I release fear, I release judgment, I release hurt, I release pain. And we went around kind of like in a circle as we were kumbaya on Zoom. And we made that an everyday thing for the entire month of November. We journaled together. We laughed. We cried. We got raw. We got vulnerable. These are 11 women that I had never met in my entire life. These are people just on social media. Never met any of them. But there was a need. I was able to step in and feel that need. I give gratitude to the Most High for putting me in that position to be a vessel to fulfill that need while also fulfilling my emptying and refilling myself. So we did the 30 Days of Me challenge online on Zoom initially. 2 years later, there was this app called Clubhouse that I had heard of. I think Clubhouse maybe birthed around the same time that the 30 Days of Me initial sabbatical started. I wasn't too hip on getting onto the app because I'm like, another app, another platform. But after I ended my 30 Days of Me challenge, a year or two later, something kept drawing me back to this Clubhouse app. Oh, just go ahead, download it, just to see what it's about. And I get on there, it's still in beta mode, for Apple users only. And I had an iPhone. And at the time, there were only these networking rooms. Now you get on Clubhouse and they have all kind of subject matters and clubs and houses and stuff you can go to. But as the app was in beta, it was only networking rooms. So you go in there, you pitch your business, talk about who you are, what you do. People just getting to know each other at a time where the world is shut down. So it's forcing us online to get together. And again, kumbaya. And Clubhouse has helped me define and refine my voice. That was the catalyst to this voice, right? To this elevated energy, pitching and speaking and over again on this social audio app. Then when the app branched open, I started getting into the topics that I was passionate about: law of attraction, manifestation. Joined a club called I Am Creator, right? Because we're all co-creators on this earth to create the lives that not only that we desire, but that we are destined to. Because abundance and prosperity is your birthright. And I became the in-house master numerologist for the I Am Creator Club. That is a space that Nalena Kai and I ran in together. Now, Nalena Kai is a USA Today best-selling author, Essence Magazine international best-selling author, literary agent, book coach, amazing mentor of mine, and also a really, really, really great friend. And she was doing a 30-day challenge. Write your book in 30 days. Now, how many times during this interview, Knowledge, have I said 30? My son did the Lego blocks for about 30 days, 30 days in November that we did, for the challenge. And so 30 has become a very impactful number in my life, so naming the book 30 Days of Me was very, very intentional. But I did the challenge. I didn't make it all the way through. I struggled with some imposter syndrome because I started with a memoir. And in my memoir, because of some of the dark and traumatic stuff that I've been through in my life, I said, oh my gosh, this book is too dark, it's too deep. And people see me the way people see me now, my representative online. There's this love and light and joy and peace and positivity, and I don't want them to know this part of me. I want them to know the finished product. Who's going to listen to this? Who's going to read this? Who's going to buy the book? All the naysaying in the back of my mind. And so I quit. I said, I can't do it. But she didn't judge me. She stayed my friend, and we talked. We had conversations almost every day, and we talked about everything else. She didn't push me to finish the book. She knew where I was emotionally and spiritually, so she just let it be. And she allowed our friendship to just be. She didn't throw me away. So thank you, Miss Elaine Cott, for that. But then she circled back around, Knowledge, about a year later. And she had this brilliant idea. She says, you know what? I want to do kind of like this anthology thing where we're just going to talk about Clubhouse Live. I got this book, and it's called Powerhouse Voices, Amazing Experiences on Clubhouse. And all you got to do is talk about how Clubhouse was a catalyst to help you leverage personal and professional success. I can do that. So she brought some balance, right? The balance was I had all this deep, dark stuff in my closet that I didn't want to put out in the world. And she said, okay, why don't you start with some light? Why don't you start with, some success? Give a success story. And she said, give me just a page or two. And I flew through that, and I submitted it to her. It was 18 authors, I believe, in this book. Instantly went to #1 bestseller in pre-sales. Stayed #1 bestseller after the book launched. Then she put me in Powerhouse Voices Volume 2. Boom, hit #1 bestseller. And then she put me in another one called The Marketing Stuff, which is a companion to the book called The Right Stuff. The Right Stuff to help people who want to write a book, give them some tips and tricks and the ins and outs of publishing. The Marketing Stuff, which is my area because I'm a creative doula, marketing doula. I give some outside the box marketing tips and tricks in the marketing stuff. Boom, hit #1. And then God said, okay, we're going to get to the memoir. I just need you to go to 30 Days of Me. You remember that lie? You remember when you took those 11 women on a journey? You recorded that. Go back and watch the recordings. Put pen to paper and open this thing up so that it's not only subjective to you and the 11 women who kickstarted their inner healing journey. I want you to reach hundreds. I want you to reach thousands. I want you to reach millions. And I went back and I went over the recordings. And 30 Days of Me is now available online on Apple, on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, on Kobo, which is the international platform. It's available internationally. Opening this process, this 30-day process that I went through. This isn't some stuff that I went on Google and, took somebody else's tips and tricks and you copy and paste or, just giving you fluff. I don't sell fluff. This is a process that I went through for 30 days and 11 other women went through with me. I just put it in a book. It helped me. It helped those other 11 women. And I just put it in a book. So that's how 30 Days of Me, a kickstart to your inner healing journey, started in book form. Those women there in the testimonials, those are my students, or some of my students, probably about half of them. I think there's about 6 or 7 there that went through the 30-day process online, the initial 30-day process, 7:45 in the morning. And these are their testimonials. And when I go on the page and I see them and just looking at them and where they are now and reflecting and remembering the conversations that we had on Zoom about where they were then, gives me inspiration to keep writing books like this. Self-help, personal development, self-love, and self-care, that's my jam. That's my wheelhouse. It gives me so much joy and it fills me up. It gives me so much inspiration to keep pushing forward, to reach down and help another sister, pick another sister up and say, come on, sis, I got you. Let me help you kickstart your inner healing journey. It hit #1 bestseller in pre-sales. It stayed #1 bestseller after pre-sales and continues to be in the top 100. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that. Whenever I did the book launch knowledge for 30 Days of Me, I brought some other companies along with me. I'm all about collaboration now. You know, we talk about me being a marketing guru, marketing doula, which I'm the in-house marketing guru and graphic designer for Cavalcade of Authors or Tribe Called Success with Elena Kai. But with the 30 Days of Me, I partnered with 15 top tier self-care brands. And I call them top tier. Other people say, oh, they're small business owners, they're solopreneurs, but we're top tier self-care brands. And I'm always thinking about how can I help somebody else out? Because I could have came up with, you know, a self-care package that I could have sold alongside the book and all the stuff that you need to kind of do some of the activities in the book. And I said, I'm not going to be selfish. I don't have to reinvent the wheel, or I don't have to, you know, take somebody else, take somebody else's sales, and we can just share the wealth here, right? And I hit up these companies and I said, okay, how about you offer up to 30% off, they go to 30 again, on your website when people purchase the book. That way, and when the book launched, the book was only 99 cents for ebook, and then they can shop up to 30% off on these people's website. They get a book on to kickstart the inner healing journey. They also get to shop up to 30% off all the self-care goods, body butters, yoni steams, yoga mats, candles, anything that you can think of that you might need to love on yourself. These ladies had it in store and you could shop at a discount. The agreement was this: there was no monetary exchange. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Everybody wins. The customer gets a discount. Your sales and traffic go up on your website and your social media platforms. And I become a best-selling author. And I did just that. Facebook's traffic on those ladies' website went up 525%. Sales through the roof. So then I had 15 other companies who were cross-promoting me on their platform. So it's the visibility. That was the agreement. And then I, in turn, put them on the website page that Knowledge was just scrolling through at the bottom. You will see those companies' logos toggled across the bottom of the screen. And I keep them on my website just in gratitude that they supported the launch of the books. They will always be up there if you are interested in their products. They have some amazing products and services that they offer in the realm of self-love and self-care. But that's how the journey started, the 30 Days of Me journey, and now 30 Days of Me book, and so much more to come with 30 Days of Me.
I love it. How did you convince you and then convince these other sisters and other people to give themselves permission? What kind of Jedi mind trick, what kind of mantra, what kind of hypnotic spell did you put these people under to where they begin to consider themselves?
We didn't do no abracadabra over here. But I will tell you, if you ask them what made them want to join, I can say with confidence that each one of them will say, it's because Lost, she's real, she's authentic. You know, it's because I don't have any fluff. You know, it's because I'm transparent. And it's because I can say, hey, girl, me too. You know, or make myself relatable. I'm human too. People tell me their shit because I show my shit. You know, and we can clean this shit up together. Right? I don't come to people from a point of being completely healed, being at my destination, being at a point of no more growth. I'm here. I've made it. You know, That's a stopping point. I ain't ready to stop. Right? So I'm always open. I'm always raw. You know, as a life past 7, the truth seeker, I'm also a truth speaker. So I don't beat around the bush when I'm talking to people about their shit. I give it to them in the raw. I give it to them in the real. You know? And they appreciate that. We don't sugarcoat over here. And if you're ready to finally face yourself, and those are the people who I attract. Because I know I ain't for everybody. I know that. Everybody ain't for everybody. I ain't for everybody. And that's okay. But I'm committed to remaining my authentic self. And my authentic self will then become a magnet to those who I'm supposed to reach and teach, or those who are supposed to reach and teach me. Right? And when I'm constantly in that modality of my authentic self, then I know I have nothing to resist. So that's how I get people to open up. Is I open up. You got to lead by example. You know, I was going through therapy one time, Knowledge, when I lost my son, or I will say when they lost my son. Is when I lost my son initially, it was kind of surreal to me. I couldn't believe that he had passed away. It wasn't till I didn't experience the grief until the whole cemetery scandal and couldn't find the body and such, that I really just broke all the way down. Ended up having to go through therapy. And I couldn't stand it. It was, and how does that make you feel? And what are you feeling today? But I can see past people's energy, and I'm like, you want me to explain to you what I'm going through, and you yourself are sitting here looking me in my face, and you can't even stand your life right now. But you won't have an open and honest conversation with me about what shit you going through. Maybe we can sit here together, therapists, and we can help each other out, but I need you to be real. And that's how I knew what it was going to require of me to help other people kickstart their inner healing journey. Is to not talk at them, but to talk with them. Right? To be that open book and to be able to say, me too. How do we shift?
So the second part of that question is, how do you now, what Jedi mind trick do you use to get people to be okay with loving themselves, being okay with spending time doing things 2.4 hours of the day for themselves, considering themselves like they're everything to everyone else and nothing to themselves? Like, I need to know a little tiny bit. I don't need to know the whole recipe of the sauce. I need to know a little tiny bit of how you take someone who's everything for everyone else in existence and very horrible to themselves, and they okay with that. But they yearn for some kind of reciprocity. They want everybody to give back to them what they offer everybody else, but they ain't giving themselves back nothing. Like, how do you work with that?
That's a very good question. And it's all about perspective. Now, let's keep it real. What we do for others, their reaction, that instant gratification, the smile, the laugh, the joy, the gratitude that you receive from it, it feels good, right? And it makes you want to keep doing it until you just don't want to do shit no more. You just, you're tired of it, you're tired of doing it. And we're givers. We're naturally givers. Most of us, right? And we should be. But you can't pour from an empty cup. As cliche as that sounds, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Shifting your perspective. Here we go, Knowledge. Because a lot of us feel like the source in which we pour it into is supposed to pour back into us. When we have that level of expectation, we're going to disappoint ourselves every single time. When you give, you're supposed to give from a place of love. When you give, you're supposed to give from a place of not expecting anything in return. From that source, it's going to come back tenfold if you can release your need to control the outcome. Me giving to you knowledge, me giving to you today may turn into 10 people tomorrow giving to me. Does that make sense? That's the cycle. And if you let go of the resistance of me expecting it to come from knowledge, then I won't block the blessings that these 10 other people are trying to give me. When I shift my focus to you, oh, I did this for knowledge and I did that for knowledge, and how come knowledge ain't did this, that. But it's 10 people over here screaming and waiting to give me something. Right? You got to keep yourself, keep the flow open, keep the energy open. So it's all about perspective. Also, the self-love, self-care is so important. You cannot expect for anyone to give to you what you do not give to yourself. You set the bar. And I'm going to tell you right now, the universe is your friend. It's your friend. And it wants to co-create with you. And it wants to conspire with your every need and your every desire. So what does it look like if you're dealing with self-sabotage and thoughts of, I'm not worthy? What's the universe giving to you then? By law of attraction. The energy you harness is the energy you attract, right? What is the universe giving to you? I ain't worth all that. You know, the universe matches energy. So then I want you to take that same mindset and say, okay, well, what would it look like if I love myself unconditionally? What's the universe going to do then? What kind of energy is the universe going to send back? Is the energy out? Is energy in? Energy in is energy out, right? What magnetic force field are you attracting? What are you calling to your life? And when I say what are you calling, I don't mean just verbally calling. What are you being, right? What energies are you harnessing? What are you doing for yourself? Was when you set the expectation for the universe. And when I say the universe, we talking on the inside. Okay, I'm not talking about anything external. Let me make that very clear. But when you set the expectation within the universe, it has no other choice but to match that energy. And I like when it matches that energy. So self-love and self-care is so important, folks. Make sure you are taking the time out. Right now, I'm doing a 30-day challenge for the month of March. This is Women's History Month. In a group called Nelena's Mermaids. You can DM me on Facebook. I'm Ammitai everywhere. You can DM me on Facebook if you're interested in joining that challenge. The requirement, okay, action-prone individuals only. The requirement is that you love on yourself and care on yourself daily for 2.4 hours. A day is 2 hours and 15 minutes. For those of you who need the math, every single day for the month of March. And those who really want to commit, I encourage you to continue that, implement that as a lifestyle on a daily basis. I'm going to kickstart you on 30 days. Now it's up to you to implement that change and make it a lifestyle habit. In the group, I post a daily accountability post where I pull from the 30 Days of Me book. There's an affirmation of the day every single day. So there's a graphic on there on the accountability post with the affirmation of the day. And then alongside with it, another graphic that says, what did you do? to love on yourself, to care for yourself for 2.4 hours. And under there, everybody in the group comments what they did. And it's been such a beautiful interaction. Knowledge is in the group. I appreciate you for joining. And I encourage anybody who wants to join the 30-day Me Time Challenge to reach out to me on Facebook, DM me, and I will get you added immediately. Again, I am Ammitai everywhere.
So this is day 4. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
So can we share with the people what the affirmation is for today? Mother, may I?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have a physical copy of the book here, but we can pull it up on Kindle.
Yeah, I need one of them physical autograph copies.
Yes, I would be more than happy to. I have books on hand, so I can send that out to you ASAP. So day 4, on day 4, we talk about, I'm going to break down what the number 4 is, you know, in a numerical sense. Foundation, structure, stability. 4 is a number of building. Discipline. 4 is also a number of the body. We're going to be paying attention to our body today. The affirmation of the day is, I love my body and I am comfortable in my own skin. And it's such an important affirmation, Knowledge, because there are so many, you know, posts and pictures, and, you know, we're visually drawing people living in this, you know, virtual reality online, and the standard of beauty, you know, as we see it, can sometimes put a toll on us and how we feel about, you know, the physical representations of ourselves. You know, oh, my ears so big. Oh, my nose is small. Why is my lips so big? And, you know, oh, I'm about 50 pounds overweight. I got stretch marks on my thighs, and my big toe curved to the left. But loving your body, love and own your body. Give yourself a big hug today. Rub on yourself. Embrace yourself. And the things that you don't like about your body, know that you have the power to change it. You have the ability to change it. But we're going to make a call to, I'll make a call to my action-prone individuals again. If you want to do something about it, do something about it. But love on you as you are right now. Love on you as you are right now, and be comfortable in the skin that you're in. And then if you're ready to put in some work, get a little uncomfortable. Right? Because in that level of discomfort comes your growth. We got to stop being scared of the work, Knowledge. We got to put the work in. Acknowledge where you are now. Embrace where you are now. Get comfortable where you are now. Not too comfortable. But leave enough comfort for compassion. And then change, elevate, shift, and grow from there.
All right. So I know that you take 2.4 hours out of the day for self-care, for self-love. And can you take a moment to share an example or two in regards to a takeaway of how your life has improved from that commitment?
Oh my gosh, the clarity and discernment, peace. Those are the top 3 that taking time out to self-care on a daily basis has done for me. Clarity, discernment, and peace. I can see clearly now the direction where I am now where I've been and the direction that I'm headed. Is I take time for stillness, right? I like to meditate, right? I like to meditate, and I like movement. You know, when I say movement, I don't know if there's any specific exercise term for what I do, but you know, I just move my body. I flow with the energy. You know, it's kind of Tai Chi-ish, but not quite. You know, but I kind of flow with the energy. That's my thing. I love it, love it, love it. It brings me a lot of joy. It puts me in a better mind state, emotional, of the emotional well-being of self-love and self-care. My goodness. When you self-love and you self-care, your emotional intelligence has no choice but to elevate. You getting in tune with your own emotions, your own feelings, the care and tenderness that you have for yourself, then becomes what you do to other and for other people. So you got to fill your own cup first. And I know we love to serve other people, going back to what we were talking about earlier, being the overgiver, right? And not receiving, not getting the reciprocity that we seek. But if you fill your cup first, if you self-love and self-care, make that a thing on a daily basis, how much capacity do you think you have to give to others versus giving to them and you run it on empty? Like, it don't make sense. To give to other people when you run it on empty is half-ass giving. It don't make sense. So you have to fill your cup first. It's imperative that you fill your cup up first, so that you then have the capacity to pour into other people and still have some left over in the cup for you. Never allow yourself to run on E. You know, fill it all the way up, give half away. Go back for the recharge, fill it all the way up. Let me give you a scenario, an example. Now, maybe I need to implement, because I'm talking to myself right now. I see me scratching the back of my neck. I'm getting ready to talk to myself right now. And sometimes I become my own teacher and my own philosophies when they hit me. Yeah? So Spirit just put on me, just like a brand new car. When you get a brand new car, especially, let's say, you know, you get a luxury car, you get a luxury vehicle, you're never really supposed to let the gas tank go on E. You're never supposed to let that gas light come on. At that halfway point, you know, that's the gas light. At that point, you want to fill it all the way up. You want to keep it on full. Now, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not a mechanic, that you put a little wear and tear on the car when you allow that gas light to come on, and you allow the vehicle to run on such short fumes. Your gas tank in there just puffing on air, hoping and praying that you pull up to a gas station. And it's like, all right, now I'm going to cut off. We're going to shut all this shit down if you don't put some gas in me. Same thing goes for how you pour into other people. You fill your tank up. You're a luxury vehicle. You never allow yourself to get past that halfway mark before you're filling it up again. Otherwise, you will find yourself puffing on fumes and depleted and ready to shut down. We don't ever want to get to that point. We don't want to get to a point of no repair. We don't want to get to a point of exhaustion and no motivation, no inspiration. We don't want to get to the place where we lock up the engine. Right?
Yes. I definitely am thankful for you and to you for all that you have shared, your openness, your jewels, your vulnerability, the gift of life that is you with us here. So if you were to leave physically, when people thought of life, how would you like them to remember you?
La kickstarted my inner healing journey. That's who I am. That is who I am. And that impact that I want to leave on people's lives is what fuels my fire on a daily basis. I know my purposes. I know what I'm set here to do. So my journey is leading me to shift perspectives. Look at the world as just a grand canvas and paint your picture, baby. Paint your picture. So, yeah, how I want people to remember me is unlock the creative in me, the co-creator in me. And I know that I'm not subjected to what I feel like life has thrown at me. That I have control in this situation. Not total control, but I have some control in this situation. And it started with me on this healing journey. La taught me how to see things on an energetic level. I now no longer take things so personal. She allowed me time and space to be myself, to be authentic, to be real, to be raw, to be vulnerable. That's how I want people to remember me. I want to be the kickstart to their inner healing journey. I want to be that paintbrush. When they pick up a paintbrush, and when I don't mean like a physical paintbrush, but when they pick up their paintbrush and they start creating the life that they desire, I want them to say, "La help me get here." When they're painting their picture, when the masterpiece is almost complete and they've reached the top of the mountain, they did it. They're continuing to do it, and now they're reaching back and helping other people kickstart their inner healing journey. I want them to be able to say, "La Ammitai taught me this, and now I'm teaching you." I want it to trickle down from generation to generation. That is how I want people to remember me.
I love it. Final thoughts for the family, where people can find you, reach you, collaborate with you. And I want to have you back, and I want to have, I would like to do a series with you if I could. I would like to do a series dedicated to 30 Days of Me, the chronicles, the testimonials, the people who have been impacted, uh, how their lives have changed, them sharing their success stories and things like that. I want to chronicle that if I could. I'll be very interested in, folks who have gone at whatever phase they are. Either they just getting started or they done it, and those who've gone beyond 30 days, like, okay, this is my lifestyle now. Like I don't know it without it, because there are other stories to share. Like, how did you prepare your family, with the people in your life, your significant other, your work, whoever, like whatever is important and whoever is important to you, like how did you prepare them? And then like what was their kind of response. I think some credence to those stories. If you're open to it, I would like to.
I would absolutely love that. Let's build that out. Let's build that out. See what that looks like, and all the moving pieces that we need to incorporate to make this a thing. Let's make it a thing. Absolutely, absolutely. So my final thoughts: know your energy, own your energy, and stand in your power. And the way you do that, first and foremost, is just by being. Allow yourself to be. Don't be a human doer. Be a human being. Acknowledge your physical self, connected then to your spiritual self. Tap into your innate God-given talents, gifts, skills. If you stand 10 toes down in them things, I promise you they're going to make room for you. I promise you. And I know some people say, I've been on entrepreneur knowledge since 2000, full-time, since 2016. I haven't worked a 9 to 5. With 2 children on the spectrum, single mother. I'm in a relationship now, not married. And people are like, how do you do it? I just cut the cord. I let go. It drove my ex crazy. He would always say, "La, how do you just jump off a cliff?" I got wings. That's my mentality. And if you can adopt that mentality of I got wings, be that risk taker, let go of fear. You got wings. Everything that you need already dwells inside you. There's no outside, nothing or no one that you should be seeking to feel any part of you. If you think that you need a husband or a wife or a significant other to consider your other half or your better half, I'm telling you right now, you're chasing after something that it's going to leave you disappointed every time. Because if that husband and that wife or that significant other, that girlfriend, that boyfriend, at any point in time in your life decides that, you know what, this ain't all of what it cracked up to be, I think I'm going to exit stage left. Guess who the hell just took half of you with him? You got to be 100% whole within yourself. When you do that, you attract 100% whole of everything else. That way, and we understand that some things come from for a season and a lifetime. It's a cycle, right? But when things part from you, guess who doesn't have half? Guess what doesn't have half? You can then namaste it and say, gratitude for coming into my life. I appreciate the blessings and lessons bestowed upon this energetic connection. I release it back to the universe to be transmuted into love and light energy. And I stand prepared for my next great phase. That's what happens in the mind and in the heart space when you're 100% whole within yourself. When you're not seeking something to fill a void within you that you have not filled within yourself. This is why I push self-love and self-care so much. To take us out of that taught, program, codependent nature. Depending on a job, depending on a career, depending on your employer, depending on your mom, depending on your dad, depending on, your loved ones, depend on you. And then require the match of energy once you depend on you. You can't lean on you, then you cannot expect anybody else to. I mean, come on now. It's simple math. But you can find me at La Ammitai on all platforms. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram. If you check me out on social media, I'm on the various of social media platforms. You can think about it. It's an app for that. And I'm probably on it. But I'm at La Ammitai everywhere. On Instagram, I switched it up on y'all just a little bit. It's _Ammitai. Nonetheless, you type in my Ammitai, you'll be able to find me. And I thank you so much, Brother Knowledge, for having me on this amazing podcast. And you have been an amazing host. I absolutely love your energy and would love to continue to build out this mutually beneficial relationship with the 30 Days of Me.
Y'all heard it from the best, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and she has so much more in store. We didn't even scratch the surface of the greatness of this mind and this spiritual being having this human experience with us. Okay, we ain't even getting to the get of the gets. Okay, we ain't even getting to the get of the get. But definitely excited for everything else moving forward. So it's been a blessing. Continue to be a blessing and receive those blessings based off of that.
Ashe.
We out of here, y'all. We about to get magical and mystical. Okay, I'm in LA. About to get magical and mystical, and I will see y'all tonight live with Killer Priest on the Killer Priest podcast. We'll be out there on the rocket. Until then, peace.
Rapping to music's highest levels as they join us to do the latest single, an absolute smash entitled The Magical Messages.
Sit down, let me hit you with this good soul sermon. Seems so urgent, the way my flow emerging. Niggas like to talk quick, but they slow learning. You forgot me like a pot on the stove burning. Dropping gems that can heal you just like elixir. Freemasons can't erase Phoenix from the picture. Dope oratory, spit it by the gallon. Colors in my aura like Aurora Borealis. You gotta learn astrology, you can't ignore the will. Divine protection, all up in my force field. Spiritual war is real, they want a Jordan still. I'm getting paper the same color as chlorophyll. I am the new decision like a quarter pill. It's all the same meaning, God's plan or Lord's will. Plant more seeds than in vitro. Frequency turned, my atoms on fleek mode. Thank you for coming out this evening. Nobody dropped jewels like we bring. Ever since the shorty wop, I could see things. Astrology to Kabbalah to the I Ching. Deep alchemy quotes, they hit your heart zone. I write galaxy notes, no smartphone. And if I'm doing alchemy, then why challenge me? Trollers, they watching like Malcolm on the balcony. But I'm winning, vindicated by the victory. Popping off like Peter with this rap ministry. Tell me your birthday, I gotta check the synastry. I gotta see how we can calibrate this energy. Chilling in my tie zone, no anarchy. Real soul, slide stone, where the family. Fourth house, Cancer moon, let it bless me. Feminine race, she Oshun sexy.
Yo, this groove right here make me feel like I'm dancing in the stars. This that mystical magic, they be wishing they had it. This is dose of uncut for the living fanatics. From the pineal gland crystal that sits in my attic. That God deity, DMT, DVD, holographic Blu-ray, sacred flower bouquet. Some say the clouds were too gray. My thoughts are pixie dust like baby powder on a new day. Sprinkled by the hidden hand, floating in the ethers into spirits in your liquor stand. For the believers who don't go through the procedures, who can know without seeing when your omen is the gift of man. My skin was sewn from the hopes of all the dreamers. Alpha the theta, delta the beta, serenade your brain waves, be living in fantasia. I'm not a shock when we giving the fans stages. Surfing Mount Pyramid, sitting on Grand Mesas. They can't ignore it, the vision's too damn major. It's mathematically visible, playing data like phones with no contract. We broke from the traps, the metaphysic God rap. Ain't no holding it back. These zombies under deep spells wouldn't know if it's back. Spirals in the seashells, mark the road to get back. And this ain't the full meal, lit is only a snack. We gon' see the fakes hating when we in the same spaceship that y'all had. With my pulse low, we can catch these felines. Feel my lines when I'm flowing like that. It's the law of attraction. See the floors got me laughing. You a magnet that repels. You don't only attract. See the magic in our spells. Now in fashion you can yell. God take their mind higher like I'm passing them the L. Vesica Pisces like we wrapped it in Chanel. Mother Nature is the holy zodiac that keeps our DNA braided so our soul is intact. Amethyst, tanzanite, purple stones in my lap. Full moon, white and jewelry, be glowing like that. Car, I broke the ice that had the avatar in it. I've never cast a spell that had no average bars in it. Jupiter conjunct, got no average Mars, get it? Turn into the Hulk, leave it savages. Card dentures with a pinky touch on a matchbox with $1. Now I'm the gear straw man, paper dolls for paper dollars. How they control man, invisible strings. I ride from the sun with invincible wings. From a Reverconda, my every mantra's a heavenly opera. Peace to the new gods, the beast, clear truth gods. Smoke with the Rasta sip, brew with the Brujas. Zodiac shaman, holy map watching. Pour through savage ranks like an astronaut boxing. Don't be fools, go to school, don't be hard heads. Come to me, call up Ty, get your chart read. Ace of spades, they amazed how the cards spread. Read the sign, teach the blind what the stars said. The zodiac redesigned is the dark web. Got us living cage free like the farm eggs. Reattached to Godhead, knowledge the lead. You should clear to go to cosmic physics college instead. It's Ty Zodiac and titanium. Perform live on the stage in your mind stadium. Get your mind right, raise your vibranium. It's Chaldean design, sometimes Sabian. Listen, it's not a temporary trend. These are ancient secrets here. Y'all gon' wake up in the end. So every rhyme that you wrote, you can go delete it. 2 serpents, 1 mic like a double helix. Think it's the U.S. then poof, you in ancient Egypt. Poof, you in ancient Egypt. You in ancient Egypt.
I'd like to say it's off and have you with us. We'd like to come back real soon and do some more things.